welcome to a very, very, very special edition of the Monroe Show. I'm one of your hosts, John Gotti Maserati. Wait, I don't go by that anymore. I go by Milo the Madman now. Milo the Madman. As you can see, something's a little bit different. We're missing 75% of the podcast hosts, but that's okay. There's a happy accident for everything, and everything happens for a reason. We're actually going to be doing a crossover episode of our sister podcast, which is Haunted By. And it's going to work out perfectly because our first guest for both podcasts right now is going to be Mr. Chris here. And he's going to talk some paranormal stuff, and he's also going to talk some bro stuff. So without further ado, go introduce yourself, sir.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Chris Lowry. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you, Milo, for having me. So I look forward to it.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. I really appreciate you, man. And you're familiar with the Monroe format and everything, right?
Yes, yeah. I've started to follow you guys, watched a few episodes. Very cool show. So super stoked.
Thank you. Too kind, right? Too kind. Thank you. Well, we start off Monroe with an icebreaker, which is like a party story or something crazy that's happened. Do you have anything like that?
Well, I got a bunch of crazy stories. So definitely can get into that. My icebreaker story for myself, though, just a little something about me, kind of funny, kind of goofy. So when I was younger, I really loved the movie The Sandlot. I'm sure you guys have seen it growing up in the 90s, stuff like that. So again, my favorite movie. I was a big Benny the Jet fan, but I demanded people to call me Benny the Jet Rodriguez. So
really?
Yes, dude, I would not answer to Chris. My parents, my brothers, all my family just knew me as Benny. I would wear a Sandlot and baseball uniform every day, rain or shine, did not matter. My mom had that in the wash every single day. So I actually have 2 Sandlot tattoos as well. So I'm a hardcore fan. So a lot of people know me as Benny the Jet. We run into people, who I haven't seen in 20 years, and they'll ask, "Hey, how's Benny doing?" Stuff like that. So just a little funny story about me, cool. Benny the Jet.
That's cool, man. I like that, man. I like that. I was actually watching a reel on Instagram yesterday, and it was showing the before and afters of I guess they all got together.
Yes, dude,
and they had dinner.
Love those. Yes, yeah, I love seeing those.
The one that was missing though was Benny, and all the comments were like, "Where's Benny? Where's Benny?" And then I was like, he was breaking up a fight he was breaking up a fight in a fast food restaurant and got stabbed in the throat. Oh wait, wrong coming of age movie. Stand by me.
Dude, actually, Benny, the guy who played Benny, I believe his name's Mike Vitar. He actually spent some time in jail, believe it or not.
Shit.
Yes,
I believe it.
Yeah, he was well, I don't know if he still is, but he was a firefighter. I think in one of the New York cities or neighborhood areas around there. Apparently, him and a bunch of his buddies saw this nice Chinese old man handing out candy to kids. But for whatever reason, they thought that he was like too happy or too enthusiastic. They thought he may have been giving them drugs. So they went and knocked on his door and kicked his ass. And turns out the guy was just a nice Chinese old man handing out candy. So yeah, he did some time for assault. Benny the Jet.
That's wild, bro.
Yes.
So,
but keeping it real, Benny, on the lookout for all the kids.
I mean, of course, yeah.
Fucking Benny.
You gotta protect the kids. That's crazy, man. And then the reason when you said, believe it or not, I was like, no, I believe it, man, because most child stars, they get into
some shit, dude. Yeah. I don't know what it is. The fame, the cameras, but it's always a sad story. We hope and wish for the best, but Hollywood gets some people sometimes.
Yeah, man. I think that's what it is, man. It's a very, very evil industry. Like, I mean, all the shit that's coming out.
I think so, especially the music industry too. I mean,
they get exploited.
I hear all kinds of conspiracies about like subliminal messages in Disney movies and this and that. So it wouldn't surprise me with all the stuff going on in the world now, and So
it's gotta be traumatic for them, man. It has to be traumatic,
for sure,
to grow up that way.
I'm sure they have a hard time coping.
Yeah, man. But luckily, one of the comments on the video, the Sandlot kid said, "I'm really happy that it doesn't say like that any of them died, that they were all there."
Yeah, no, and they're all friends. They all meet up at like Comic Cons and stuff like that.
That's really cool, man.
But it's just a really coming of age movie. I don't know why. For me, it just stuck with me. And Honestly, I had 2 VHS tapes. They both broke because I played them so much, at least 2 or 3 times a day. But yeah, I mean, I'm a Sandlot kid.
I remember I used to watch The Sandlot a lot, and my favorite was Hamilton Porter, dude. It was just so funny to me, man.
Yeah, dude.
I used to get a kick out of him. It's like, and then what did he say? What did he say at the end? He became a wrestler and he was known as the Great Hambino.
Yeah, the Great Hambino. Yeah, they came out with like a sequel, I think, maybe even a third one, but nah, man, it doesn't
capture that magic.
doesn't
Bro.
come close to the first one, dude.
Yeah, dude. You know what? I love that. There's the 4th of July part where they're.
Where they're like running through like the neighborhood block party and
the fireworks.
Yeah,
are going
Ham's
on.
like running. He like grabs a hot dog real quick and he's like eating it. Yeah,
dude, I love that part. It's a really cool little montage sequence. Well, not montage, a little scene.
Yeah, no, it is,
really
dude.
dope,
My
man.
favorite part of the movie is like where they all meet up at the festival or the carnival, and they're getting ready to go onto the ride, and one of them pulls out like a bag of tobacco, Big Chief tobacco.
Big Chief.
Yeah.
The good stuff.
The good stuff. There you go. And they all take a pinch and they get on that like machine or whatever. And they all end up throwing up, and the song Tequila's playing in the background. So one of my tattoos is actually of the pouch of tobacco.
Oh, that's fucking dope.
Yeah,
man. That's
dude.
Cool.
So I again really love that movie.
Oh, yeah. Wait, I can't hear that song Tequila without thinking of that.
Yeah, dude.
Scene,
of
bro.
course, nobody can.
Just fucking.
Yeah.
Dude.
Right?
Oh fuck, man. I was gonna ask you. So we're gonna like we're doing the crossover episode, right?
Yes.
And you wanted to talk about some paranormal stuff.
Definitely, dude.
Before we do though, I wanted to ask you: do you listen to any other like paranormal podcasts?
You know what? I do. I'll be honest, the past year I've kind of like dropped back a little bit on my listening just because I started a new job this year. Got other things, I got to take care of. I got 2 kids. I got one on the way. So things like my whole routine and schedule lately has been kind of all over the place, but I'm a big Coast to Coast fan.
Sir.
I like Mysterious Radio as well. I listen to a few Bigfoot podcasts, like Sasquatch, stuff like that. So yeah, I definitely am into that stuff.
Yeah, man. Well, I mean, for the folks that aren't aware, Coast to Coast is the paranormal radio show.
Yes, that is like the original, like scary, paranormal, anything like that podcast. I believe it started in the early 90s.
I believe so, with Art Bell, correct?
Yeah, Art Bell. George Norrie's now the host of that show, and they have a few other like co-hosts, stuff like that. But if you guys haven't listened to Coast, it's a classic. They talk about everything from alien conspiracies to government, Bigfoot, ghosts,
And it's
cryptids, all kinds of stuff. I mean, it's really just like for everybody. And it comes on every day at 1 a.m.
on 690, right?
On 690. Yeah, AM. Super good show. I started listening to it maybe in the early 2000s with one of my older brothers. I have 3 older brothers. One of them I'm close with all of them, but the oldest one I'm very close with. Him and I are into a lot of the same things, have a lot of the same thinking and stuff like that. So when he saw that I was getting into like aliens and, asking questions, he's like, come listen to this show with me.
Dope, man. Dope.
Yeah. So there was a few times where, older brother took little brother, had a little smoke out sesh, stuff like that.
Yeah, man.
And when I first listened to it, I mean, keep in mind, this was like in the early 2000s. Podcasts weren't even like a thing really. Yeah, it was just like radio shows, and that was it. So to me, it like opened up my mind. I was like, wow, there's other people thinking about this stuff. They have experts coming in on the show. So I would always just like trip out, and I still do to this day. Like I every time I listen to Coast, I love it. It helps me unwind, and you could just get lost in these podcasts.
Yeah, man. And I haven't heard it in years, but I'll always have a special place for Coast to Coast because I used to deliver pizzas back in when phones weren't a thing. I'm totally giving away my age, but everybody knows how old I am. So I would and then I would close, and we closed at 1 a.m. You know what I mean? So I think back then it would start at 11. I want to say. It would start at 11
I
p.m.
think you're right.
So then I used to love having like closing, especially on the weekends, because I could just drive around and listen to fucking Coast to Coast.
Of course.
I would actually go run, take the deliveries quicker so I could get back and not miss anything. Or try to time them so that I would get there during the commercial break.
Yeah, they do have a lot of commercials.
Yeah, it's a radio show, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you can find them on Spotify.
Yeah,
I mean,
man.
all the major outlets, stuff like that. But
definitely.
super cool. If you guys are looking for like a new show to listen to or to trip out on,
There's literally decades.
Yeah, decades of shows.
man.
I mean, anything you can imagine. They talk about angels and demons and God and religion,
there was
government, everything.
There was one I remembered, and it popped up actually within the past few days on a reel. It was because the format was, remember the format was it's radio call-in, right? It's a radio call-in show, and they don't screen them, which
you don't know what's gonna happen.
What's gonna happen.
Yeah,
hardcore.
Dude,
it's crazy now.
There's
Imagine
actually
back then.
There's actually been a few like specific ones like in the late 90s, early 2000s that are like really popular of like recorded calls with customers that like just blow people's mind.
It's fucking crazy.
It's nuts.
The
nuts.
one I had is that dude had a recording of what he claimed was hell. Have you heard? Have you seen that one?
I haven't, but I believe it. I'm gonna have to go look at it now.
I remember exactly what it was. It was something about drilling in the earth, right? And you hear it, and it sounds fucking crazy.
I know what story you're talking about. They stopped drilling. I think it was in Russia.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, because they wanted to just see like how far they could go down.
Yeah,
but and again, I'm sorry guys, my memory's not the best. I've smoked a lot of weed in my life. Milo will tell you, he knows me a little bit better than all you all. I used to be a cannabis cultivator in the state of New Mexico, stuff like that. But anyways, yeah, the story is that they were drilling down, I believe, and they stopped because they started hearing screams and stuff like that. And that's not the only story. Reports all around the world report hearing stuff like that in cave systems, stuff like that. So really makes you think, dude, because I mean, we live on the surface, bro.
We don't know what's down there,
dude. We know more about the surface of the moon than we do our own oceans. So it's nuts. I believe it.
Yeah, man.
I don't know if you guys have ever seen this like viral like post on Instagram or on the internet, but it basically shows two maps, and it's of the United States on the top end and on the bottom end. One of them shows the cave systems of the United States.
Oh, yeah.
And then the bottom one shows all the missing persons case. A lot of these happen in the national parks, which is a whole other topic and a whole other discussion. But yeah, we don't know what's going on in our oceans, in our cave systems, but something is definitely happening.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think it's there's a portion of the answer is logical because it's how you said national parks, right? People go missing. It's gargantuan wilderness. Like, who knows what can happen out there, right? Yeah. But also, it's also other weird stuff that we don't know what's going on, right?
We don't know. And here in a little bit, we'll get into some stories, some experiences that I've had out in the woods. But really, really crazy stuff that makes you really think, makes the hair on the back of your neck stand up. So definitely happy that I'm here, able to talk a little bit about my experiences, bring some light to the topic.
Yeah, man, most definitely. Let's just get into that, man. So, in the format of we're doing Monroe format, but the content is mainly going to be like what Haunted By is all about, right?
Yeah, of course.
Haunted By is our sister podcast. It's hosted and produced by me, and it's the concept of Haunted By is basically anything that haunts you, right? It could be literal hauntings. It could be a ghost. It could be a regret. It could be
anything paranormal,
or something personal, right? I don't limit it to paranormal stuff. It's whatever haunts you, whatever you carry, and sometimes it could be something positive, man. It could be a beautiful experience you had with a loved one, and it was hauntingly beautiful, something like that. That's what the whole purpose of Haunted By is, man. And that's we're talking about like what you give to the world, right? And like I'd like to think that that's probably my gift to the world is that I want to let people like unload and get whatever they have off their chest. And I don't have very many episodes, but I think
I'm definitely happy to be here to talk about my experiences. I'm sure everybody listening has had some scary experiences of some sort. Like you said, just bringing some light to the topic. Super excited.
Yeah, man. Thank you, man. Well, yeah. The floor is yours, man. Tell me what haunts you.
God, man. I got tons of stories. I'll start off, from when I was a little kid. So again, I grew up with three older brothers, mom and dad, just typical household. We lived in a small house growing up on the east side off of George Dieter. And my first paranormal experience was one day I just remember it was raining and something was tapping at my window.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it was really, really weird. I'm gonna say some stuff that's gonna sound like crazy, outlandish, really weird. It's up to you if you want to believe it or not. I know what I saw. This happened probably 30 years ago. I'm 34 now. But I still remember this stuff. There's some stuff that I don't even remember 10 years ago, but this stuff was burned into my memory.
Yeah.
And I know it to be fact. So again, it was raining one night. So I heard some tapping at my window. It woke me up. And I saw the only thing I could describe it at the time as a little kid was Hulk because it was green. But it was like this green being outside my window. And as I've gotten older and I've done more research and I've heard about different kinds of aliens and stuff like that, the best way I could describe it now is a reptilian being.
Okay.
Which is, they say a type of alien and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a whole other topic as well. But I remember going to my parents' bedroom and telling them, and my dad specifically saying, like, just like any dad, mijo, go back to bed.
Yeah.
It's your imagination, blah, blah, blah. But then I heard the tapping in their room. And when I went to the window, I saw this being there just staring at me through the window. And my dad came, he woke up out of bed and he came and he's like, mijo, I don't see anything.
Oh, fuck.
So this is like when, as an adult now, I'm starting to realize that some people have gifts. Some people can see things, others can't. I think we all have gifts. We just got to be able to learn how to tune into them, So yeah, that was my first paranormal experience. It scared the shit out of me. I still remember it to this day. And I had a lot of experiences around 4 and 5 years old. And they do say that, kids closer to the,
To the other side.
yeah, to that early side can experience stuff from the other side because they're still so young. They're closer to the other side than we are.
Yeah, they're way closer.
Yeah, dude, I believe that here on Earth we have filters over our eyes. You know what I mean? That don't allow us to see certain things unless you're trained and are looking for those things.
Yeah.
But we moved into the Cella Vista neighborhood, and when we first moved in, I started experiencing some things too. I'll never forget. We had just first moved in. My mom and my older brother were doing laundry or folding laundry in their room. And I was walking across the kitchen and something caught my eye.
Mm-hmm.
As a little kid, I was 4 years old. And I looked back and I saw a floating torso with no face and long hair. And it just turned and looked at me. And I lost my shit. I flipped out. I ran to my to my mom's room. And she was trying to calm me down. And she was trying to tell me that, that was just your brother. Your brother was just in the kitchen. And my brother looked clueless, like, what the fuck's going on?
How old were you then?
I was 4.
4 as well. Okay.
Yeah. So that's when I started having some really, crazy experiences. And that house that we moved into, we've actually had blessed several times because throughout my childhood there was just some weird things happening, typical noises, this, that, just really weird feelings. But I've always sensed things and I could tell a difference, it just got cold all of a sudden, the hair on your neck stands up. So those are some of my earlier experiences, but I do have some, that have happened, in my adult life that are also, pretty scary, pretty weird.
And going back to the floating torso, actually also the reptilian or the Hulk. So there's this. I can't remember the name of the term, but basically, what people experience, what they think people experience, is that it's something. No, I'm not saying something. I don't know what it is, and our minds can't comprehend it. Like the filters you were saying, right? Because we have filters, our minds can't comprehend it. So it presents itself as something that we're familiar with.
Yeah, that we can
interpret. Like our brains can interpret.
Yeah.
And so a lot of, like I listened to Jim Harold's Campfire. I don't know if you listened to that one.
No, I haven't.
That's also a call. It's just like it's basically the same setup as Coast to Coast, but except it's a podcast and they're recorded. It's not live. So I was listening to one, and they were talking about this girl's talking about. She's like, when I was around 4 or 5, she's like, I saw Freddy Krueger in my room. And she's like, I know the first thing everybody's gonna say, it was just your imagination, you're just scared of movies or whatever. She's like, Freddy Krueger never scared me. She's like, but it was what scared me was looking at him actually being in my room. And she's like, I don't know why I saw Freddy Krueger. My grandma didn't see it. She's like, I don't know why I saw it. And she was insistent. And then on the another episode that I just happened to click on was another lady who kept seeing the same person over and over again, and were places that person should not be. And so again, it was like, that was the manifestation of what you could comprehend. So in your case, maybe that's what was happening.
You're right, dude. And back to us having filters and stuff like that. If you look at people who are mediums and people who have these gifts, you know what I mean? They'll tell you we all have this ability. It's just a matter of tuning into that frequency. For a while, I was studying it and I was reading books up on it, but it just got too real for me because things started happening. What ends up happening is when you start learning those techniques, those filters start removing themselves. And, you kind of have to be ready to see and hear things that, aren't there. So it's kind of scary. I kind of stopped doing it for a while just because it was beginning to become too real for me. And I wasn't ready to handle it. So I kind of put those books away, put them on the shelf. You know what I mean? But I'm definitely aware of them, and I'm definitely a lot more sensitive, I believe, than most people to that kind of stuff. But I could go on all day telling you stories of things that have happened to me. I look forward to in a little bit getting into the stories that I've had out in the woods.
Yeah, let's do it, man. Let me hear it.
So I'm really into like cryptids and Bigfoot research and stuff like that. So for a while I was like talking to some people online on these Bigfoot pages, especially here in New Mexico, in our backyard, about some good hotspots and stuff like that. What a lot of people don't know is New Mexico has a very high concentration of Bigfoot sightings.
Really?
Believe it or not, Otero County, where like Alamogordo is, Chaparral, that has a very high concentration of Bigfoot sightings. It's the most in New Mexico. And you wouldn't expect it because it's mostly desert.
Is that where Mescalero Apache reservation is?
I mean, the Mescalero Apache tribes, they're more like in Ruidoso, Cloudcroft area, like in the mountains. But yeah, I'm sure. What I started thinking was, if there are these Bigfoots, they're probably coming down from the mountain heading towards the river looking for water. And that's where they get seen a lot is, on the White Sands Missile Range, Holloman's Air Force Base, stuff like that. I have friends who are from Alamogordo who can attest to this too. And they tell me, yeah, we heard this growing up. We don't really believe it, stuff like that. But some of them do, they believe it just like, the sun comes up every day and the moon comes out. I mean, they believe it. It's just a part of life. So yeah, I've had some experiences out there. I can get into them if you guys want.
I was going to tell you really quick. I've spoken about this before on this podcast, or on the Monroe, I should say. Do you know why people always claim like Bigfoot is a difficult concept for some people to comprehend and believe in, right? I mean, because it's not definitive, right? We don't have definitive proof, so therefore it's not real. That's not the case. There's been a bunch of animals that have been like that throughout history. But they say, well, then how come we've never found Bigfoot bones?
So that's a good question. I believe they are very similar to humans in the sense that they might be burying their loved ones.
That's exactly what I say.
I really don't believe that they are just some animal, that we haven't caught, or they have low numbers in. I think it's a little bit more than that. I think there's a spiritual aspect to them. Because what a lot of people don't know, where there's a lot of Bigfoot sightings, there's also a lot of UFO sightings. Yeah. So they kind of go hand in hand. There's my own theory that I believe that they're kind of like watchers of this earth. That maybe, an alien being or whoever's out there may plant them here to keep an eye on the earth, stuff like that. There's also a lot of sightings of these beings disappearing in front of people, stuff like that. So again, I think there's some kind of spiritual aspect to them. I think they can teleport. I think they can do a lot of different things. There's this one guy online, and forgive me, I can't name him, but he claims to have 2 Bigfoot that his father shot and killed in 1953 and has kept in the freezer, and he'll bring them out from time to time. Again, I can't say it's real, but they sure look real. And a lot of people report that they have like reddish hair and stuff like that. But this man who has these supposedly Bigfoot corpses, he believes that they have a lot of magnetism in them, a lot of metal, and that it's actually rust. So there's some kind of like metaphysical, like weird thing about them where they can apparently, teleport and move and do stuff. And people have all kinds of stories about them. I mean, in all states, all over around the world. I mean, they're reported in Asia, they're reported in Russia, they're reported South America, here. Even on the U.S. National Forestry website, you can go see this right now. They talk about Sasquatch, and it's not a joke. They'll tell you on the actual website, this is, an endangered species. If you see it, please leave it alone.
What, really?
But go look.
That's
go look on the
wild.
go to the U.S. National Forestry website. Go to the search bar and type in Sasquatch, and they have a propagated article that they have put out that is 100% real. It's not a joke, and they tell you we have hundreds of game trail cameras that we have caught seeing this being. We don't know what it is, but please stay away if you do see it. So it's really weird. I think the government does know what it is. There's been a lot of people like ex-military who've worked on like bases who've had run-ins with these beings, and they've been told not to talk about it. There's been reports of like in California, the wildfires. There's a report that some firefighters came across a charred Bigfoot.
Oh, poor thing.
And they didn't know what to do. They were like, "Holy shit!" Like, one, I think they were just like, this is real. 2, what do we do with it? So I think they ended up calling in the army, and the army came in and took over it. With a lot of these strange cases, like look at Roswell, stuff like that. So they're definitely out there. I think they do have populations, but I think they're very keen on not wanting to be noticed. I think that they know that humans are possibly a danger. So I think they see us a lot more than we see them. So I think that they're out there. I'm a very big believer in all that. To me, it's just common knowledge. Like it's easy to believe.
I'm in the same school of thought, man. It's to me, it takes more effort to deny and disprove something. I'm not trying to say I believe everything. I'm not that gullible, but it's too much of a coincidence to be a coincidence with everything that we find paranormal or the things that we can't explain.
I mean, it makes sense. We find giant bones all the time. We know that there was larger human beings at one point. We know that we came from chimpanzees or monkeys, whatever you want to believe.
No, the Earth was created 4,000 years ago. Or was it 6,000 years
right?
ago?
Yeah. So to me, it makes perfect sense. We have like in the 1800s, you can find these like newspaper articles of giants found with the red hair, big beings. So to me, it's believable, and I've talked to people who live in the mountains up in New Mexico, and they tell me it's common knowledge. We don't go out at night.
Have you ever encountered something like that?
I have never encountered. I can never like truly say I've encountered a Bigfoot. I've never seen one. But have I encountered strange things in the woods that I cannot explain? Yes. Was it a Bigfoot? I don't know. Was it something else, like a skinwalker or something? I have no idea. But I was talking to a local there in Ruidoso one time, and I was kind of like telling him about my experiences, and I don't know if he took me serious or not, but I mean, he told me, he's just like, dude, there's stuff up here that we can't explain. And he brought up a good point. He's just like, there's a lot of elemental spirits here, spirits that have been here for eons of time, since the beginning of time. So it may not be a ghost, it may not be a skinwalker or a Bigfoot, but there's energy going on in these national parks, stuff like that. So, and I think it was Teddy Roosevelt who wrote about it long time ago. He was an avid hunter. He'd go into Yellowstone all the time.
Didn't he fight a bear?
Yeah,
he wrestled a bear.
Yeah,
Right?
he wrestled a bear,
Yeah.
but he has a Bigfoot story.
Oh shit!
And
okay.
it's documented. You just got to look into it.
Really?
Yeah, he had an experience out there in Yellowstone, and it wasn't until when he came back from that trip where he was like, "Okay, we need to protect these lands." So it's like, okay, what did he see? What the fuck did he experience or see that he realized we cannot have people just come up in here?
He doesn't talk about what he saw.
I gotta look into it. I'll send you the article, but there is a journal entry that he wrote that he had a Bigfoot experience, basically.
Wild, bro.
And then right afterwards, they went ahead and made them the National Park Service.
Yeah, dude,
and said, okay, we got to protect these lands. You can't just move in here. You know, we got to take care of these lands. I think he was kind of like gatekeeping what's in the woods.
Yeah.
And then if you talk to some of these Indians, like the Mescalero Indians, you talk to people who live up there, they'll tell you. I know a guy who lives in Nogales Canyon. So if you're on your way up to Ruidoso from Tularosa, it's that mountain area that's still kind of desert. You'll see random houses here and there before you get into like the wooded areas.
I know exactly where you're at.
So I know a gentleman, he's a cannabis cultivator for the Mescalero tribe. He lives out there. He's lived up there his whole life. And I don't think he necessarily believes in Bigfoot, but because he laughed at me when I asked him about Bigfoot, but he got real serious when he told me that there's things up there that the natives have told him are real, and he believes. And he told me and this is all he needed to say. He's like, Chris, when it gets dark outside, we don't go outside anymore. What? He's like, we lock our doors. And I was like, wow. There's also been reports in La Luz, which is also another community up in the mountains. They grow a lot of apples up there, where farmers have had a lot of their apples stolen. Yeah. You know, and they've seen these beings out there picking fruit off the trees. There's even a report in New Mexico of a horse's hind leg being ripped off. Ripped off. Yes. So no animal does that. Bears will not do that. Yeah. So this one guy, apparently something was bugging his livestock at night, and he didn't know what it was. One day he went out there and his horse's hind leg was ripped off. He has a 6-foot fence guarding those horses. Wow. What can explain that? I don't know. Was the leg
nearby, or was it they took the leg?
Something tells me it was on the Navajo reservation. I think I saw this on I forgot the Paranormal Rangers, I think is the show. It was on History, and they followed these 2 paranormal investigators who were Navajo Rangers, who basically have the whole territory of New Mexico and some of Arizona. I can't remember their names, forgive me, but these 2 native guys, and they basically research the stuff that happens on the reservation that cannot be explained. Wow. And a lot of this stuff happens on the reservation. Yeah, man.
And there's got to be a direct correlation. I mean, there is a direct correlation. Natives peoples are really more in tune with nature, right? With the elements.
Dude, if you talk to these natives, they'll tell you, like, this is just common sense to them. They're like, skinwalkers, they exist. You know what I mean? Like Bigfoot, and every state, every region, they have their own nicknames. Like, I think in Arizona, they call them like the Brillo Man. Okay. It's like a Bigfoot being, but they see more out in the desert. Yeah. Believe it or not, guys, there's actually been some Bigfoot sightings here in our neighborhood in Horizon.
Really?
Yes.
Horizon.
So get this. You can look this up. Happened in 2001. But they called it the Horizon City Monster. Okay. But in 2001, there were some cases that were going on. There was 2 that I can think of, and I remember quite well, that happened in Horizon. So I believe the sheriff's name was Montañez, and he would park out really far out on Darrington Road, towards out in the desert, but he claims that he used to see these like mother Bigfoot, or like these gorilla type beings out in the desert, who would come out at night and they would hunt with their young. There you go. The Horizon. That's the article that came out in 2001.
Dude, that's straight up. That's a Sasquatch, right?
No. So, and if you think about it, you know, on the far east side of El Paso, it's probably 100 miles north, and then you run into the New Mexico mountains, where a lot of those sightings are. So I'm thinking there's tunnels or something. Something. They're probably looking for water, or they're hunting.
Maybe it's a cave. No, we don't know
Maybe.
about. Yeah.
So everybody called this sheriff crazy.
Yeah.
But he was like, no, I know what I saw.
Yeah.
Another case out in Horizon, I want to say it was a few years later, a lady was driving down the highway and she saw like a Bigfoot creature crouched over like a mesquite bush. And it was like eating something. I think it was eating a coyote.
Oh shit.
Well, it saw her, and for whatever reason, this big being just like was like walking down into the ground behind the bush.
Oh shit.
Well, she went and like parked because she was like, "What the fuck am I seeing?"
Yeah.
And she parked and she went over there, and the carcass was still there, but
There was nothing there.
there was nothing there.
There's
But
not a
this,
hole or-
but this thing went down into the ground, so
Yeah.
she was tripped out. So yeah, there's sightings in Las Cruces over the Oregon Mountains towards the Rio Grande. So I think there's definitely something out there.
Yeah, man.
I don't think it's too far-fetched to believe that maybe there's a small population of these beings, animals, whatever you want to call them, out there in the woods who are just trying to survive and live just like we are. But yeah, you know, there's something completely else.
What happened to you out in the woods, man?
So I mean, I have a few experiences. I'll talk about two. One time, me and two buddies, we went up to Bluff Creek, which is in Cloudcroft, and we were camping out there. We always go like super far off the trail. We don't like being where everyone else is at. We like going deep into the woods. So that's where we went. That whole experience was just pretty trippy. One of the nights I was sleeping in the tent by myself, and my two buddies were sleeping in my buddy's 4Runner. But that whole night, dude, it was just really weird. I just couldn't sleep. We forgot our portable toilet, so I needed to go to the restroom. I had to like hike like 10 minutes into the woods to like where we found a good safe spot. But that whole time, dude, it was really trippy. During the day, things were happening. One of our hammocks was like moving a weird way. I have a video of it too.
What the fuck?
I could show you a video.
Yeah,
of it. Yeah, like where the next hammock next to it wasn't. But like just I don't know, dude. Just the energy was like weird. You always you felt like you were being watched the whole time. But
I know, dude. I know exactly the feeling you're talking about.
But let me get into the next one, dude. That really, you know, stands out to me, and I'll never forget it. My best friend, his name's Evan. He was a corpsman in the Navy for like 12 years. This guy's tough as nails, man. One of the toughest guys I know. One of my best friends. So he lives in Bastrop, Texas now. And me and him planned to go on like a little like 1-day camping trip. He was going to come into El Paso. So he drove in, he picked me up from work. We went to my apartment real quick. We gathered up all our stuff. And this guy has a full arsenal. I mean, he has an AR, he has a 308, he has all kinds of guns. I have a few guns too, but he's more of the guy who's like a hunter.
Okay.
He grew up in Colorado.
Okay.
He knows animals. He's an avid hunter. He knows this stuff. He's very comfortable in the forest.
Okay.
You know. So I had gotten a tip from someone online. Hey, if you want to see some Bigfoot activity, you should go up to Carr Canyon.
Carr Canyon?
Carr Canyon, Karr.
Okay.
And I believe that's somewhere in Cloudcroft or outside Rio, so somewhere up in the mountains. So there we go. You know, we get our stuff from my apartment and we head out there like at 2:33 p.m. in the afternoon. It was like a Friday. By the time we got to like the mountains, it was like 6.
Okay.
And this was like October, so the sun was already going down, and we we're like, shoot, we need to set up camp. And we went as far deep as we could, and then we like hiked a little bit into the mountain, like into the forest, and we're like, all right, we're gonna camp here. So my buddy's setting up our hammocks. I'm getting firewood, and as I'm going in to get firewood, I start seeing these weird structures. And this is like a known Bigfoot thing. Where they'll like find these weird bent branch archways, or it's like thick trees just being bent, and you can't explain that. Like, I mean, people
bend wood.
exactly. So, I found like an A-pillar stacked, and I thought that was kind of weird since we weren't really in an area that was like
what is an A-pillar?
Like just like an A-frame. Sorry, like an A-frame of wood. And then I found like an archway, but of like thick wood that was like bent.
Yeah.
right before it was gonna be snapped. And I was like, okay, what could do this? I was like, I don't know any man strong enough, machine. How would they even get it up into the woods on the mountain that we're on a high
How big
slope?
is it? How tall was it?
God, man, maybe like 8 to 10 feet high.
Okay.
Yeah, it was huge. Just like these bent structures. And it was really weird. And I'm sure you guys hear this all the time, but you're in the woods and then all of a sudden it goes dead
Quiet,
silent.
yeah.
Like you couldn't hear a thing. All the birds stopped chirping. So it's really weird. Whatever. I was like, this is trippy. But this is exactly where I want to be. I was like, this is why we came here, to see if we can like get some activity going and stuff like that. So when I was coming down from the mountain, getting some wood, I heard what appeared to sound like a turkey. And if you guys have ever like been in the woods or hunted or anything, you know what a turkey sounds like. But it wasn't quite like a turkey. It almost sounded like a native tongue speaking, like something I couldn't comprehend. And I heard it coming from across the canyon. And by that time, I was like 10 feet away from my friend. And he looks at me and I was like, did you hear that? He's like, yeah. And something behind us on the canyon replied in that same like some weird tongue. And I was like, I told him, I was like, was that a turkey? And he's like, no, Chris, that wasn't a turkey. And I was like, what was that? He's like, definitely wasn't no elk, even though they're in rut right now. We can't explain what that was. It was really weird, so we just ignored it. We built a campfire, crack open a few beers, and we just start hanging out, enjoying our time there. Um, when the sun came down, that's when things started happening for us. And again, keep in mind, I like to consider myself a pretty brave guy, a tough guy, whatever, but nothing prepared me for what we experienced there in the woods that night. My buddy as well. I mean, again, he's a Marine. He's a corpsman in the Navy. Tough guy, tough as nails. He's a gymnast his whole life. He's got muscles. He's strong. He's not scared of anything. He's got guns galore.
Yeah.
So I felt very safe and protected. So we're there. We're having a few beers. We're just talking. But then we can start hearing like running, going back and forth,
Holy hell.
like in like the wood line. And I can't see, like, I could just see where the fire's going, and then it stops at the wood line there.
Yeah.
We're like, okay, like that's kind of weird. Maybe it's a raccoon or something, or a deer. I don't know. We ignored it. So, but it kept on like persisting, and it kept going back and forth, back and forth. And it was really, really weird. So we get our guns out and we get our scopes out, and we have these real nice high-powered LED lights on our guns, and we shoot them into the woods. Scanning. We don't see anything. Every time we went to shine our lights in the woods, quiet. As soon as we went back to sit down, boom, start running. Then we start hearing whispering. And that's when we were like, okay, what the fuck's going on? Yeah, like this is like, is there someone fucking with us? But we're like, no, we're deep in the woods. Like no one's around. Like the closest people we saw that were camping to us were maybe like a quarter mile back.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we were out there by ourselves. So what happened next started to scare us, because when we went back out there to the wood line and shined our lights started to turn off.
What?
Yeah, they just died. The battery died on them. Both
What?
on our guns.
Yeah.
They died. And if you know a little bit about like paranormal activity and stuff like that, they say ghosts, spirits, stuff like that they can affect
Electronics.
Yeah, electronics, frequency, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Really, really weird. I also had a lantern, a really badass Duracell like LED lantern that my brother had gotten me a few years ago. And that one's a rechargeable, battery. So I made sure it was charged before the trip.
Yeah.
So we have it out there, and that goes out. So now our lights on our guns are out. Our lantern is out. I pull out my phone, just trying to like get some kind of light going, and my phone will not turn on.
What?
Yes. So I tell my friend, hey, my phone won't turn on. Can you turn yours on? And he looks at me. He's like, my phone's dead. It's not turning on.
Fuck.
So now we're scared because we're in the middle of the fucking forest. We have these guns that we can't see to shoot at anything. We keep on hearing these whispers and running, going back and forth. So And I wasn't like, I was scared, but I wasn't like, okay, let's call it quits yet. You know what I mean? I was just like, let's just chill. Well, my friend, this guy has been in the Philippines, Japan, Korea. He's been in all kinds of war situations. A tough guy. He starts sweating.
Oh
He
shit!
starts freaking out. And then he starts throwing up. He starts getting sick.
From the panic or what?
I don't know.
Oh,
I don't
wow.
know if something was making him sick or if he
Oh,
was
wow.
nervous, but he starts getting sick. I start getting a really bad migraine all of a sudden. So now we're like, fuck, what do we do? And he starts panicking a little bit and he's just like, we got to get the fuck out of here, dude. I don't know what's going on, but I don't
Dude.
get a good feeling, Chris. He's like, we need to get the fuck out. And my friend also has pretty good intuition.
Yeah.
Me, I was a little bit more like, no, let's just wait it out. Let's see what the fuck's going on. But the noise was getting more intense. Now instead of like one or two things going back and forth, like it's like we were being surrounded. Like all of a sudden I could hear multiple like people running, like leaves. And then as soon as we'd get close to like the wood line, it would die. It was really scary. So one, we can't see anything. We're hearing stuff we can't explain. Our lights are fucking out. You know, my friend was like, dude, we need to get the fuck out of here. So we left. And we went to the lower Car Canyon. So there's upper Car Canyon and lower Car Canyon. We went to the lower area and everyone's camping there. That's where the majority of people are. But my friend's still throwing up. I still have a fucking headache. We're not feeling good. And I tell him, I'm like, let's just drive into Ruidoso. Let's get a hotel room and just call it a night.
Yeah, bro.
But we were just so fucking scared of what we had just witnessed and been through that we're like, fuck this. Let's just drive home. I don't want to even be in the woods. I don't even want to be in a hotel next to the woods right now. So that's what we did, dude. We drove fucking home.
Let's go back to the desert.
And we drove home in fucking complete silence because we were both like fucking like just puzzled. And what was really weird is that when we were coming down the mountain, I tell my friend, we were like getting into Tularosa, and I tell my friend, hey, just pull over on the side of the road. I got to take a leak. And he's like, yeah, me too. So we're both outside his truck and we're taking a piss and we're looking at the mountains that we were just in. And the fucking weirdest thing, bro, 3 fucking white orbs just go up and down from the mountain. And I'm like, are you fucking seeing this? And he's like, yeah. And you're not going to believe this, but it was also a full moon that night. So like, it was just like the perfect.
Oh, bro, you were asking for it.
Yeah,
there,
dude.
man.
It was just like the perfect recipe for some shit to go on. And like me and him are like with our dicks in our hands, excuse me, taking a piss, like looking at each other. And we're like, dude, what the fuck is going on here? Like, and we could not explain it. And to this day, him and I just still like we talk about it sometimes, but it's kind of like a touchy subject. I don't think he likes talking about it. But
I don't blame
me
him,
personally,
dude,
I'm the kind of person like when I don't understand something, I need to figure it out.
Yeah.
And I will fucking go to the grave, you know, trying to figure out what happened, trying to explain what was out there. But dude, you never know, man. I don't know. It could have been Bigfoot, could have been elemental spirit, could have been a skinwalker. A lot of people don't know, but in 2009, Nat Geo went to Ruidoso.
Okay.
And they got with the Mescalero tribe because they were going to do a project on skinwalkers. They were going to do a show.
Okay.
So they got permission from the Mescalero tribe to go out there. They didn't last 2 fucking days.
Really?
Because of how fucking scared they were of the shit going on. So there's a lot of stuff that I think happens out on the reservation that tourists and people who go visit Ruidoso obviously don't have access to. But there's stuff that happens out there.
Yeah, most definitely.
One of my best friends, again, he grew up in Alamogordo, and he 100% does not believe in Bigfoot or anything like that. He laughs at me, but he grew up with these Indians and he grew up with these guys, went to high school with them, and they all told him the same thing, dude. No, this stuff's real. You know, they're out there. We don't know what they are, but you know, that's what I want to figure out. You know,
I have a really weird story about being on the tribal land. This was pre-COVID, and we were gonna go. We rented a cabin. It was a bunch of us. So it was like 16 of us, right? Mostly couples, but then of course the single males, right? We were there for I think for 3 days. We got there one day, stayed up one full day. or I can't remember exactly how long. Maybe the point is we stayed way too long. It was nothing but alcohol.
Maybe it was too long.
It was too
They
long.
were like kicking you out probably.
Basically, dude, on the last day, I remember we were gonna go to. The whole reason we went up there was for a concert. Los Huracanes de Culiacán or something like that. One of those.
Yeah, they always have badass concerts out there in the mountains.
So we went. We
In
went
the
out-
mountain gods.
we went out there for that specifically, and then when we were getting ready, everybody's of course the girls were getting ready, and all the guys are doing whatever. I started getting this really weird feeling, like I was being watched, but it wasn't. I wasn't being watched by someone with
It's a
eyes.
weird feeling, isn't it?
that's
Like
what you're saying.
you can't explain it. Like
No.
being here, like if someone's watching you at the restaurant,
Yeah,
it's a different
it
feeling,
wasn't.
dude.
It's like kind of like the best way I can describe it.
And you don't know
is
where
it-
it's coming from.
And no, and it's like I was.
It's
in
an energy. It's like a frequency, dude.
We were in a tank and somebody was observing us. That's how I feel like
Yes.
we're reptiles or something.
Yeah, and you
like
can't
something.
go anywhere. You're like stuck
Yeah,
there.
you're stuck there. So I just had that fucking weird feeling. So we would go to the show, and then everybody goes to the casino. Everybody does their own thing, and then we're heading back. And I think basically what you said was we just overstayed our welcome, because then an incident occurred. Nothing bad, but there was a lot of yelling, a lot of arguing. It didn't get physical, but it got really ugly. And I started thinking, I'm like, fuck, dude, I think whatever that I felt was watching us probably can had something to do with this. You know what I mean? I don't know if it caused it or
100%, dude. Like me and my friend got sick.
Yeah.
Our lights turned off.
Yeah.
I think they can, like, whatever's out there, whatever it is, you know, I think they can make you sick. I think they can make you feel things.
But also there's another thing too, is that when we're leaving the casino, there was no room for me, right? And it was in the wintertime. It was cold, it was fucking freezing. And fucking I was like, I'll suck it up, bro. I'll ride in the back. It was nighttime. Everybody's like, dude, no. I'm like, dude, why are you guys gonna come back just for me? Like, and then everybody was already gone. This was the last car. Like, I'm like, and everybody was already stacked up on each other. I was like, I'll be fine. Watch, just give me a blanket. I'll be good. And I remember I wrapped myself in the blanket and I laid down in the truck bed. Bro, I was toasty and I had the best fucking view of the stars.
Beautiful star, bro.
Beautiful.
I love, dude. I would see comets going, all kinds of
dude,
shit. I love
gorgeous,
it.
gorgeous, man.
I'm addicted to it, bro,
Yeah,
because you
dude.
don't see
You
those
don't see that
stars
shit
here in the
No,
city.
man. Beautiful.
Yes,
So then
dude.
I
Of
had
course.
this calm when I was riding back there, right? I was just so calm. I was like, damn, this is really cool. And as soon as we got back to the fucking cabin, that uneasy feeling came back again. And that's why I know that I felt something different. If I hadn't been in the calm and the serene back of the truck looking at the stars, I probably wouldn't have picked up on it. But that's how I know that it was different.
Dude,
The energy was different.
you got to have respect for the beauty out there and the nature. And if there is something out there, Sasquatch, whatever the fuck's out there, you got to have respect it, dude, because that is their home.
Yeah.
That is their area. And I, just like you said, like maybe overstaying your welcome and stuff like that. I think that they know that who we are. I think they know people come out to the woods to camp and stuff like that. But like you said, you got to have a respect for it. You got to not overstay your welcome, because I think that's when things can get very, dude. I mean, hundreds of thousands of people go missing every year. A lot of them happen in the national parks and just fucking, dude, up and gone, vanished. And people don't know what happened to them. There's even been stories of like a little boy going missing here, and then they find him like 45 miles away.
Yeah.
And it's like deep fucking forest, and they're like, they don't know how he made it and shit like that. Dude, there's so many unexplainable things that happen out there. What happens with me out there is I lose my sense of time. Like, it's weird, dude. Like 3 or 4 hours will go by, but it feels like 20 minutes. That's nuts. It's really weird, but we're also smoking a ton of weed out there in the mountains. So, so I don't know. Maybe that might.
So some would argue that would discredit anything, but I have the complete opposite. I think Native peoples have been using substances to enhance their minds and their spirits, their spiritual energy. And so I think sometimes you become more susceptible to certain things.
You're right.
Because when I used to smoke, I remember I would watch TV, and we didn't have cable, so I'd have to watch reruns of whatever shows on there. And the laugh tracks on the sitcoms would drive me fucking nuts. I hated it, dude, because I would hear the joke and I think it was funny, and I'd chuckle, and then I'd hear the stupid laugh track, and it would make me self-conscious. I'm like, are they fucking?
It's weird, dude. I'm telling you, dude, these substances that are banned and illegal and stuff like that, they remove filters on our mind and our eyes, and they allow us to hear and see things that we normally wouldn't pay attention to. For a while, I got really into like mushrooms.
Okay.
I was growing them for a little bit, but I was also using them as medicine. You
Okay.
know, I've gone through some things in my life. And I've been prescribed all kinds of pharmaceuticals and stuff like that. I finally got tired of taking them most of my life. So I wanted to look for a safer alternative. And I got really into psilocybin mushrooms.
Okay.
And the mushrooms definitely will, you know, tweak your sense of time and stuff like that. It's really, really weird. I don't do them anymore. I experienced what I needed to experience, felt what I needed to feel, healed from that. But definitely, yeah, substances can definitely alter your experiences.
Most definitely, man.
Yeah,
most
dude.
definitely, man.
Yes, and they should be, you know, revered and protected.
Yeah, no, and respected.
Yes,
That's like
yes.
when you abuse things like that. That's when you abuse things like that. That's how they get bad reputations, and that's how they get banned.
And I love it, dude. Like, I mean, you've seen me, dude. I garden a bunch.
Yeah.
I have all kinds of plants. I grow some cacti that are hallucinogenic. Like San Pedro, Peruvian blue torch, stuff like that.
Oh, wow, okay.
These are very powerful plants that contain sacred medicine, and I treat them as such, dude.
Yeah,
you know
man.
what I mean? Texas is one of the only states that will allow you to have some of these cacti.
Really?
Yes, so you can't get them just anywhere.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like Texas is one of the states that will allow you to have like a San Pedro cactus. It becomes a felony when you harvest it and try to use that, what's called the mescaline. That's the it's an alkaloid that gives you that hallucinogenic experience and stuff like that. But yeah, dude, definitely interesting stuff.
That's interesting, man. That's
Yeah.
crazy. Do you want to take a quick break?
Yeah, we can take a
alright.
break.
Let's take a quick break. And we're back. We're back. Okay, Chris. So we're discussing that experience in the woods. That was wild. That's
Yeah,
nuts,
dude.
man.
I can't explain it. There's not a day that goes by where I don't think about it.
Yeah, man.
Just trying to like piece together, like, what the fuck was that?
So real quick, I know you said you could hear the running in the wood line, behind the wood line.
Yes, like on like shuffling leaves around.
Where were you guys camping? Like, it's just in an open area?
So again, like I said, we went into Car Canyon, and then there's like an area like that, like pretty much ends. You know, we passed through all the main camping sites, but we hiked into the woods a little bit where it was like cleared out, and it was just all flat.
Why was it cleared out and flat?
I don't know. We just found like probably like the size of this room. It was just like a clearing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know, just like a natural clearing, not a lot of woods there or a lot of trees, and so we were there.
Okay.
And
then so then you said that you would hear the whispering, and every time you were gonna go into the woods, it would stop.
yes.
What do you think about this? What if whatever you were hearing, right? That was one thing. The whispers were another thing. When you were gonna hit the wood line and go into where that other thing was there, it would stop because they were scared to go into the woods right there.
It's possible, dude. I've also been getting really into this whole new genre of like paranormal phenomena of like feral people living in the woods. Like, have you ever heard of stories in like Appalachia, like in the mountains, like that, which is another hardcore.
Yeah, it's all this mountain range on the planet.
Exactly. Yes. I mean, it goes through, I think, like 13 states or something like that.
Dude,
I mean, there's all kinds of stories coming out of there. We know for a fact that there are feral people that do live in those woods and that are just.
What do you mean by feral people?
People basically who have dissociated from society, who I guess you can call outcasts, you know, stuff like that. People who just have decided to go live in the woods and who live off the land. Don't have running water, don't, you know, live in caves, stuff like that. Like the hills have eyes kind of shit.
Okay. So like basically our ancestors, right?
Not necessarily. I mean, these people could have lived in society for 20 years and just decided, like, you know what, I want to
so
get
it's
out.
not a generational thing?
No. I mean, these people are human just like me and you. But I mean, there are cases of feral people living in the woods.
Oh wow.
Yeah, all over the country, all over the world, really.
Okay.
So,
What makes that paranormal though?
I not necessarily paranormal, but I guess kind of scary in the
Okay.
sense
Okay. I
that
see what you're saying.
there's people out in the woods who are animalistic by nature,
Yeah.
who hunt and live off of the land,
Yeah.
who are uncivilized.
Yeah.
So there's cases of people doing that. So who knows, dude? Who knows what could, I'm not ruling anything out. I'm not saying it was a Bigfoot. I'm not saying it was a skinwalker. I'm not saying it was an elemental spirit. What I'm saying is something was out there with us that night, and I can't explain it.
So it was, again, my thought was that you guys were there where you should not have been, right? You
think so.
overstayed your welcome. Whatever was running around in the woods, that's what was messing with you, was scared of that. And every time you guys would get close to that, it was trying to keep you from going out there.
Yeah,
That's
maybe
what-
maybe it was like a warning. Who
Yeah,
knows?
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like
Who
not
knows, dude?
even a warning. It was like straight up like
N-
the whatever was running back and forth was probably trying to protect you.
And people who research this stuff, they'll tell you like Bigfoot, skinwalkers, all these kind of, paranormal cryptid creatures, they say that they can pick up on vibrations.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. When me and my friend are together, me and him are like two peas in the pod. We just fucking like, we're just so close. I feel like when him and I are together, our energy is just so like fucking high, high vibration. And dude, we were drinking out there, we were smoking. Who knows, bro? For all we know, we probably had like a spiritual antenna
Yeah, maybe.
on our head saying like, "Hey, we're over here. Like, come see us." So I don't know, man. I can't explain it to this day. I have a buddy, the same buddy who I grew up in Alamogordo. He was like, dude, there's probably some high school kids fucking with you and this and that. And I was just like, I don't know, dude. Our lights were turning off.
Yeah.
Our cell phones wouldn't work. Our lantern turned off. My friend, who's
Got
a
physically
fucking
ill.
trained killer Marine,
Yeah.
was for the first time in my life scared.
Yeah.
Dude, I didn't mention this earlier, but we were so scared that we started praying
Yeah.
when we were leaving. That's how serious it was. Like I don't know how to explain it, dude. Something inside me was just like, it was like this weird nature telling me like, get the fuck out.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I don't know what it was, but my friend too, he was just like, we need to get out of here now. And this guy's been in war scenarios. He's been in some tough, sticky spots. So I believe him on his gut feeling.
Yeah, man.
I've been in sticky spots too. I've been in all kinds of situations. I don't think of myself as being scared easily, but for once in my life, I was like, I feared for my life.
Yeah, man.
We've had bears come at me and my friends that
Yeah.
we've had to like shoot at to like,
Oh shit.
yeah. Like another time we were camping, we were actually having a few mushrooms that
Mhm.
day in the woods. So we were definitely, up in the sky and our feelings and emotions were all crazy. And I kept telling my friends, I was like, hey, do you guys see that bear way up there? And they were like, yeah, it's cool, man. Like, and I was just like, I think it's coming towards us. And dude, they were totally nonchalant. And then I was like, guys, this bear's
Fuck,
running
the bear's
towards
running.
us.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, dude, like galloping. And I was like, oh shit. And it was crazy. At that time, it was like my life flashed before my eyes. I was like, dude, if you've never had a bear run towards you, like you've never been scared before. I swear to God, dude.
That's
And we all pulled
fucking
out our
cool.
guns and we weren't gonna shoot the bear. We wanted to shoot like close to it to scare it away.
Yeah.
And it was funny, dude, because we were in I guess we were in part of the Lincoln National Forest, and there was other families like down the way camping. And dude, here we are, dude. My friend pulled out his 357 mag. I pulled out my 9mm. My other buddy pulled out his 9mm, and we shot at it.
Mm-hmm.
So you just hear these shots into the fucking woods, and he's like, well, I guess everybody knows that we have guns now.
Yeah, dude.
But yeah, dude, I mean, there's crazy shit that happens out in the woods.
Yeah,
and like
man.
you were saying, dude, like the night sky.
Yeah.
That time when we were camping, where we shot at the bear, we did like a night walk. And so we were walking along Bluff Creek. And if you've never been to Bluff Creek in Cloudcroft, it's a beautiful campsite, beautiful area. There's a long creek going through the canyon. A lot of people will camp down that creek and stuff like that. So we're doing a night walk. And dude, just the most beautiful night sky. You
Yeah.
can see every constellation, every star. And I remember I saw like a big green light over us. And I was like, what is that? And as I looked up, the green light turned orange and red and disappeared.
Oh,
I was
that's
like,
cool.
how often do you see a comet or a
Yeah.
fucking meteorite?
That's
That
really cool, man.
color, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, yeah, you may see one once or twice in your lifetime, but like in that environment, when you're in the, in the woods at night, not a city light in sight, and you just see that, I mean, it's beautiful, dude. The kind of stuff that we see out there. And then, like I said, that one time we saw the orbs, when we were coming down
Yeah.
from the mountain. It was a full moon. We saw the orbs. We had this weird experience in the woods. We were just like, you know what? This is too much for us. And I'm telling you, dude, for a while, I kind of like backed off my research and all of that stuff, because whenever I get too deep into it, that's where things start to become real.
Okay.
And you got to be able to handle it. You got to be ready. Some people are open to it, and I'm open to it. But I think we're just, our senses, in this human form, we're just not used to it.
Okay. Yeah, man, that's wild.
Yeah.
I wanted to touch base with you on the story you said where the lady saw the entity go into the ground. You obviously know what skinwalkers is, and you've seen the documentary Hunt for Skinwalker.
Of course.
That's what that reminded me of. I know there's a point where they're looking through the night vision goggles, and they see a being come out of a portal, right?
Yeah.
But when you
And
take
they
it
talk
in-
about that
Yeah.
being open portals. And like, for example, in California and Mount Shasta,
Mhm.
they've done scientific studies, and there is a known magnetism force that's fucking in that area. Like, it's
Yeah.
really weird. Like, they'll measure things here, and then 5 feet away, it's like
Something
completely
crazy, right?
different. So I think there's things going on in our national forests and areas that we can't explain. Maybe the government knows, maybe they don't, maybe they're researching it. I have no idea, but I think they are smart in the sense that they preserve these areas
Yeah,
to
most
keep
definitely.
people from disappearing and
Yeah, yeah.
and
and
getting
also
lost and
disrupting
shit.
it too. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, I mean, if something's way more powerful than you want a bunch of dumb humans like
fucking
fucking-
around
yeah,
with
fucking
it.
around.
Yeah,
There's
I mean,
gonna be
look what
consequences.
they do out here on the streets and shit.
Yeah,
exactly.
you can imagine over there, like, and then you don't want somebody wielding that sort of energy. Like, let's just say for whatever reason they get a hold of that energy.
It's crazy. And you
Yeah,
know what?
dude.
You know what's really sad is this whole Trump administration. It's fucking sad, dude. What's happening in our country and all the things that are being gutted and changed, and it's nuts. But one of the things I know Trump was wanting to do was to back away from the Park Service, and I don't know what's gonna happen if they're gonna
It's-
lobby it and
Yeah.
and
Well,
get a bunch of like tree service people up in there. But that's the word on the block right now, is that Trump is like slowly wanting to take away the National Park Service and all the resources that go to that. But if you talk to a lot of these park rangers and
Mhm.
stuff like that, dude, there's stuff in those woods that they know about. They're trying to protect. It's a lot of, you gotta have respect for it.
yeah,
You
man,
know,
you definitely have to. And it's they say the land's ancient, and we have to respect it. We have to take care of it. We gotta,
dude. Remind me to show you that video later of the hammocks.
Yeah, please do, man.
Yes,
Please
dude,
do.
it's nuts. I'm telling you.
What other paranormal stuff do you have, man? What do you have for me?
Okay, so when I graduated from high school, I went to Cathedral High School downtown. For you guys who don't know, it's an all boys Catholic high school. I liked that area a lot. I was like, you know what? There's some apartments down here. My brother and I got an apartment on Oregon Street, kind of by EPCC downtown. I don't know if you know that area or
I do.
not. So we rented this apartment that was like 112 years old. This old building, super cool. It was huge. It was fucking huge. It had like 3 bedrooms, a huge ass living room, and it was basically like a bachelor pad paradise for
Dope.
like 2 young guys.
Dope,
You know what I
dope.
mean? So me and my older brother, we got an apartment there. Super cool. We just drink and smoke and hang out all the time. And it was like in the middle of downtown. We would walk to the bars. We'd walk
Yeah.
to like Black Market and Palomino
That's cool,
and stuff
man.
like that. But with an old building, it's to be expected. A lot of noises and creaks, and had this old wood floor and stuff like that. But things started happening there at that apartment. And again, it's called the Stratford Manor. If any of you guys want to look it up and do some research, it's a beautiful old building downtown, or close to downtown. And there was 6 apartments, actually 7, 6 apartments, 2 on each floor, and then 1 in the basement.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a really trippy old building, super old school. And as soon as we moved in, stuff started happening, like right off the bat.
Oh wow.
I remember my buddy Evan, the one who I was telling you about, the Marine, the one in the camping story. Him and I were hanging out in the apartment. We're smoking and drinking, and we're putting up pictures on the wall. And I remember I had placed a picture on a nail hanging on the wall, and as clear as day, dude, as soon as I put that out there, me and my buddy are standing up speaking. The picture lifted off the nail and flew like 10 feet and landed right in front of us.
What the fuck?
And him and I just looked at each other and was like, we just saw that, right? He's like, yeah, I can't explain that. I was like, neither can I. So not only that, but one time I was in the shower, and above our toilet, we had like, those decorative like glass rocks and like a little incense
I remember
stick,
those, yeah.
just some for the bathroom. And I had a towel on it. Well, something pulled the towel down and knocked all the decorations off the toilet. Super weird, super weird. But the strangest part of the whole situation was I started feeling weird. I started having like these inner problems within myself there that I had never happened to feel my whole life.
Yeah.
And I would lose time. I don't know if you've ever heard of that.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget this one time where the last thing I remember was I was on my laptop. It was like 4 p.m. I was doing some homework. I was going to EPCC at the time. I was doing some homework on my laptop. And my dog, who is a blue heeler pit bull, sweetest girl dog ever, was sitting next to me. And then all of a sudden, I wake up and it's nighttime. It's like 10 p.m. I'm sitting on the floor up against one of the windows in the apartment, and my dog is laying down, like growling at me.
At you?
At me. And I lost time.
Yeah.
Like I would lose time in that apartment, dude. It was weird. So that really scared me. And I got a priest in immediately. I grew up in a Catholic household. I'm not going to say I'm a practicing Catholic because I don't go to church. I don't believe in everything the church stands for, but I grew up with that, and I still cling to my faith sometimes. So the only thing I knew was to call a priest in. He came in and he did a blessing, and everything was good after that. But there was some weird stuff happening in that apartment. Some of our other tenants were also very weird people. Some situations arise, and I started thinking when I got older, I was like, man, whatever was in that apartment complex must have been affecting more than just me. May have been affecting other people, because dude, there were some strange people living in there.
Do you feel comfortable talking about that? Like,
yeah, 100%.
What do you mean, like strange?
Well, before I get into that, let me tell you this one story.
Okay.
So down the street from that apartment was this old gas station, corner store, I should say, and it was called Jimmy's.
Yeah, Jimmy's.
Yeah, Jimmy's.
Savage,
Yeah. Now it's like Savage Goods or something like that. It's a coffee shop, really cute, nice place. But back then it was called Jimmy's, and it was like the most ghetto fucking corner store.
I lived in
dude. Dude. They would sell beer to like fucking 15-year-olds and shit like that. I'd always go get like cigarettes there and stuff. But there was always like a group of homeless guys that were around that area, and I'm not gonna say I made friends with a few of them, but you see them every morning. They're there at the gas station. I'm getting coffee. Hey, what's up? I gave $1 or $2 to a few of them. But there's this one black homeless guy that I remember. And it was crazy, dude, because he looked very rough. And I don't know if he drank or did drugs. I never saw him doing that, but he was always begging. But you could just look into this guy's eyes and like you could just tell he had a good soul. You know what I mean? He was a good person. And he never gave me any trouble or anything like that. But I would always see him like sleeping in the alley behind my apartment, just everywhere. He was just always around there. Well, there was also this black cat that I would see. And this black cat was always around the apartment complex too. He was specifically always looking into mine and my brother's apartment. It was really trippy. I'd always see the cat on the ledge outside, just peering into our apartment. Yeah, like in the back of the apartment, we had this like little room. And I remember one time I turned off the lights and he was just staring at me.
Oh, that's got to be tripped out, yeah.
So this is a really trippy story I'm about to tell you. But one night I went to Jimmy's and I was picking up a 6-pack and a pack of cigarettes, and I'm like walking back up to my apartment. Well, I remember holding the door for this black homeless guy that one night because he was following me behind me. So I opened the door and he's walking behind me. I was like, all right, man, have a good night or whatever. And him and I are both walking up the street to my apartment. We're walking up Oregon. This guy's probably like, I don't know, maybe 10 feet behind me,
Okay.
but I can kind of still see him in my peripheral vision. You know what I mean? Again, I never felt threatened by the guy or anything like that, but this tripped me out. So I'm about to get to my apartment building and this guy's trailing behind me. I'm assuming he's just, walking the neighborhood or whatever. He lives here, he lives out on the streets.
Yeah.
Well, there's a car coming down Oregon and out of my corner of my eye, I see him lunge out in front of the car. So I spun around, I like turn around, and you're not going to believe this, but the black cat was running across the street.
No fucking way, dude.
Dude. So again, I'm tripping out because I know what I saw. I saw this guy like lunge out in front of the car and I'm like, oh my God, this guy just killed himself. Is he trying to get hit? Like, what the fuck is going on? And the car doesn't even stop. It just goes. So I'm like, where did this guy go? And out going across the street is the black cat that I would always fucking see peering into my apartment and around the neighborhood. So I started, and I even went back down to the corner store to like look for this guy. Nope. I was like, no, I know what I saw. I'm not going to come walk down here for nothing. I saw this guy jump out onto the street. Did he morph into a fucking cat? Is he a fucking shapeshifter? I don't know, dude. But I know what I saw. And it was so weird because I would never see the black cat and the homeless guy at the same time.
Yeah,
it was always one or the other.
Yeah.
It was always one or the other, but they were always around. And I started thinking, I'm like, man, this guy's probably a fucking watcher. He's probably like some elevated soul or something, keeping an eye on humanity. I don't know. I didn't feel threatened by him, but I think he found me interesting because he was always around me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I never felt threatened by the cat, but it was always just real weird. I'm more of a dog guy. Yeah. But so I'm not going to invite the cat in, but I didn't shoo the cat away or anything like that. But it was so fucking weird, Milo. I swear to God. I walked back down to the corner store. There was an insurance office next to my apartment building where there was like a little stairwell. I was like, did he go in there? Where the fuck did this guy go? Crazy. So I started thinking to myself, there's no other explanation. This guy's a shape-shifting fucking elevated soul or something. Just, I don't know, man. And I'm sure people have heard the terms like, when people say like, you never know who you're helping. It might be Jesus one day, disguised as someone. But dude, I know what I saw, guys, and this was definitely weird. It was just strange.
I have such a vivid fucking image in my head, man. It's crazy.
I know, but
I have it in my head.
But to go back to like some of the people that were like living there. Again, I don't judge anybody. I'm not a perfect human being myself, but like you notice, people's personalities and stuff like that. Like we had this one guy who lived above us. And he would play the fucking drums all the time. And I grew up playing the bass and guitar. Music doesn't bother me. And when people are practicing music, it doesn't bug me. But my brother he hated it. He hated the noise. I mean, it's an old apartment building, wood floors, it echoes. Yeah. So
I'm the same way. I grew up playing music too. Yeah. But I can understand how other people.
Yes, dude. And turns out that guy actually went to my high school. He was a few years older than me.
Oh, okay.
But he was always a weird guy. You know what I mean? And I told my brother one time, don't go up there, bro. Like, I don't know about this guy. Like,
oh, shit, like that.
Yeah. But my brother, Billy Badass, fucking strong big brother, went up there anyways to go tell him to keep it down. Badass. But dude, this guy, I don't know if he was just a weird guy or if he was like up all night doing coke or something. But dude, all night, like 2, 3, 4 in the morning, just running back and forth in his apartment. Boom, 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 boom.
What the
it would wake us the fuck up, dude.
That's crazy, dude.
It was crazy. And then like we had this like nice young couple who like moved up on the top apartment. Mm-hmm. Super nice, dude. Like meeting all the neighbors. Oh, hi, how are you? Yeah. And then like a few weeks after they moved in, dude, like one night me and my brother like hear all this glass breaking and fucking banging on the walls and shit. And like we go through our peephole and the guy is fighting some other dude, hits him and throws him out through the front door glass like
what
panel.
The fuck?
This 100-year-old building. So we immediately like called the cops and they got thrown out that night.
What?
But like like something was like fucking with people in this
Yeah,
in this building, and then the people who lived in the basement, fucking weird,
Oh,
dude.
dude.
It was like this man who's a truck driver, so there's
Mhm.
always like an 18-wheeler like truck cab parked outside,
Mhm.
and he had two sons. I think they had problems. I don't know. Again, I didn't talk to him too much, and then the guy's wife, like she was like missing the one, like her eye was there, but it was just white. It was like really weird.
Oh.
She was like a weird cat lady. She had like they had a bunch of cats and they had a bunch of chihuahuas, and there was no windows because it was in the basement. And she would never get out. She was fucking real weird. I don't judge, but I'm just saying it was scary. It's like fucking like someone living under you in the basement, never comes out. The husband was very like he was the only one who would come out. The kids, like his two adult sons, they were just like in there all day. It was really weird, dude. The fucking dude next door to us, there was like this really cool guy named David, and he also worked like on the road. I don't know what he did. And then his fucking wife or girlfriend started having an affair with the mailman.
Fuck.
So, dude, there was all this weird shit going on. Dude, all this like I had a ghost in my apartment. We have this guy above us who's like running across his apartment at like 4 a.m. The creepy people on the bottom, the crazy couple. Dude,
It's a
no
fucking,
mom
it's
is,
a,
bro. It was
it's a
like,
sitcom, dude. It's a
dude,
fucking
it was
sitcom,
nuts, bro. It was
That's fucking
nuts.
wild.
So
Man, that's
I've had a lot of experiences here. Like,
man.
even at Concordia Cemetery.
Mhm.
One time, me and my buddies, we went to L&J Cafe and we had like a nice little dinner. Got real nice and drunk afterwards. And I had the bright idea, like, hey,
Let's go to the
let's go to the cemetery. I got like this badass flashlight in my car. Let's just
Yeah.
fucking go. So we were all like, cool, let's go. I had all my homies with me. Like, I wasn't scared at all. I was like, yeah, we're all together. And then shit started getting weird in the cemetery and they all fucking booked
Yeah,
it.
of
But I was
course.
already like too far deep and I was like, nah, like I came out here for a reason. So
Yeah.
I'm going to just sit here for a minute. Dude, Concordia is fucking haunted, bro.
Yeah.
There's some weird shit going on in there. If you just go in the middle of the cemetery and just be real quiet, you can hear people talking.
Shit.
You can hear people talking. But what did it for me, like that was cool. Like I was like, wow, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
What did it for me was I thought I saw something.
Mhm.
So I like flashed like the flashlight towards like this like tombstone and there was like a tree next to it. And I saw something like peeking over the tombstone, like a shadow. And I was like, whoa, what the
What the
fuck? And I
fuck?
started backing away. As soon as I was backing away, I had like the full like angle of the light over like that area.
Yeah.
And then I just saw a shadow figure walk from a tombstone to a tombstone. And I was like, all right, I'm done. I'm fucking out of here, dude. I'm fucking out of here.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
crazy,
dude.
bro.
Another good story I have. This happened with some high school buddies of mine, but we had already graduated. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that old cement factory down Executive and the
Yeah.
border highway.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
Maybe you've
familiar with
seen
that.
it.
I've seen it.
Yeah, you've seen it. It's been there for, I don't know, maybe 80, 100 years, something like
Yeah,
that.
as long as I can remember,
I think
yeah.
my dad's uncle worked there at
Oh,
one
wow.
point. Yeah, I think he told me. But it's weird. It's condemned. They haven't knocked it down. Everything is there as it was, like, however old it is.
Mhm.
Well, me and my friends, we used to go down there, in high school and outside of high school, and we'd go smoke weed over there and, just hang out. It was like creepy old abandoned place and nobody would fucking bother us.
Yeah.
Well, one time, me, my buddy Michael, rest his soul, he's passed away now, and my buddy Conrad, we were hanging out like one weekend and we're like, hey, let's just go to the cement factory and we'll go blaze it up.
Yeah.
We're like, cool. Well, we get there. My friend Conrad was like, you know what? I don't want to go. Like, I'm kind of scared. Like, you guys just go. And I was like, dude, come on. Like, we drove out here. Like, and he's like, no, I'm good. I'm just gonna stay here. Maybe I should have listened to him, dude,
Fuck.
because me and my best friend Michael, we walked out there and like you have to like jump a little bridge to get out there and it's all fucking dangerous. Everything's overgrown, slabs of concrete broken, old machinery. There's like these weird rooms that say lab and there's
What
even
the
still
fuck?
metal tables in
That's
there and
crazy.
shit. It's weird, bro. It's just like a trippy young adults like paradise to go fuck around in and,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
shit.
yeah.
And we really weren't trying to go ghost hunting or anything like that. We didn't think of that place like that. This was just our little getaway where we could go smoke and no one's gonna bother us and
Yeah.
drink and whatever. And so me and my buddy Michael were like walking onto the property, and like, yeah, I'll admit that it was a little strange that night. You know, we'd been there a ton of times before, and for the first time in hanging out there, I was like, this is weird. I feel like someone else is here right now. You know what I mean? Um, so we're walking around there, and there's like a long concrete corridor that's like in the middle of the plaza of the, concrete factory or whatever. And I don't know, something just told me like pick up a rock, see how far that goes down there. So I picked up a pretty decent sized rock, and I mean, I was in baseball, I was an outfielder. I fucking launched that thing, you know what I mean? And I hear it like hit the wall and then probably skip down and hit the floor and skips. Boom, 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 and you can hear it echo. At that moment, Milo, I heard the most inhumane, fucking animalistic scream I've ever like loud as fuck, dude. And me and my friend looked at each other, and and my friend Michael, he's the most unserious guy ever. I've never seen that guy be serious about anything. Doesn't believe it. He didn't believe in ghosts or fucking anything, dude. This guy was just a big goofball, funny guy.
Yeah.
Never seen this guy be serious. He looked at me, and him and I looked at each other. We're like, what the fuck was that? We took off running. Dude, I've never run so fast in my life. I'm pretty sure I ran in the air. Dude, I think I did like 2 or 3 skips in the air of how fast I was running. My friend Michael, fucking wearing boat shoes, like fell and was like, Chris, wait. I didn't wait.
Nope.
I fucking ran, bro. I was like, you're on your own.
That's nice knowing you, bro.
Yeah.
Peace, deuces.
I love you, man. Nice knowing you.
I'll see you.
So yeah, dude. There was definitely something out there. I don't know what the fuck it was.
That's a crazy.
I don't know if it was like a homeless guy. I have
Maybe,
no
bro.
idea, dude. I don't know if it was a ghost.
Did you guys ever go back after that?
No,
That's the last time.
I've never been back, bro. I've never been
That'd be
back.
interesting to go check out. But
But
during
you-
the day.
Yeah, dude.
Not
But
because
dude,
I'm scared. It's like I'm very accident. Remember I was telling you earlier?
yeah, let's go.
I'm very accident prone, bro.
Fuck, bro.
Shit always happens to me. I have very bad depth perception and fucking dexterity. So like I fuck myself up. So that's why I'd want to go during the day.
Oh, dude, we should though, dude. Honestly, like I've been looking for anyone who's down, who wants
Cool,
to
man.
go do some ghost hunting. I'm all about it. I love it, especially around Halloween time. That's like Halloween's my
dude.
Christmas, dude. So if anyone wants to go hit up Concordia at night just for a little like pasadita, then I'm down. So if you're down, bro, let's go check it out. We'll go to the cement factory too.
Hell yeah, bro. Fuck yeah. Let me see here. We don't mind if we switch gears here?
No, bro.
Yeah, we'll
go
switch
ahead.
gears here and go do some Bro Monroe
Yeah, let's do
stories,
it.
man. Let's see here. I like this question a lot. If you could have a drink or a joint, dinner, or whatever your vice is, with 3 people, dead or alive, who would it be? Do you remember what you put down?
I don't remember what I put down. I think one of them for sure, Jimi Hendrix.
Yes.
I'm a big Jimi Hendrix fan.
Why would you? First off, what would you do with Jimi Hendrix? Smoke, drink.
Dude, smoke, have a drink for
Mhm.
sure. Maybe play. I know he's a badass was a badass on the guitar. I play the bass guitar, so see if he
So you
wants to jam a
out
little
with
bit.
him.
Yeah,
That's
dude.
cool. That's a first, bro.
You know what I like about Jimi Hendrix is like I feel like he was really like the first mainstream artist to get into psychedelic music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm really into like psychedelic cumbia for those who like cumbia.
Oh shit. Okay.
But Jimi Hendrix was kind of like a different sound that people weren't used to at the time.
Yeah.
And the way he would play the guitar, so he was left-handed for those who don't know. He was too poor when he was learning how to play the guitar to buy a left-handed guitar. So he learned how to play the regular guitar upside down.
Upside down.
Yeah. So
In all fairness, like those don't come cheap either. Like left-handed guitars are more expensive than regular guitars.
I mean,
Yeah, because they have to be.
I don't know about you guys,
custom.
but I can't do anything backwards. You
Yeah,
know what I
me
mean?
either, no,
Yeah.
no.
But this guy was like a genius. Literally, he not only learned how to play the guitar upside down, but he was the best guitar player of all time. I
Yeah.
think. You know what I mean?
And let me ask you this, because I know Kurt Cobain just switched the strings. Did Jimmy also switch the strings? Like have him the or did he keep it the way?
You know
it
what?
was?
Something tells me he may have just kept it the way.
That's fucking nuts.
And
Nuts.
Jimi Hendrix was really, really crazy. I read his autobiography, and a lot of people say that he didn't OD, that he chose to die. So one of his best friends in the book that I read talked about how they used to do, they used to smoke and they used to drink wine, they used to do barbiturates, stuff like that. And they used to get really high. But something that he talked about was this thing called alpha jerking. Now, term I've never heard of.
Yeah.
But apparently,
that sounds a little.
But for the people who like to, experiment with substances and stuff like that, maybe you can relate. But apparently, the way this man described alpha jerking is they would get so high that they would be able to teeter on life and death.
Okay.
Where they would literally have one foot on the other side of the veil, on the other side, and one foot in this life. And he said that Jimi Hendrix would experience some sort of astral traveling, is what you could describe it as.
Okay.
But that Jimi Hendrix would often describe to him staying on that side. So he says that he doesn't believe Jimi Hendrix OD'd on purpose. He thinks that Jimi Hendrix got so high and was just like, you know what?
I'm gonna stay over here.
I'm just going to stay on this side. And to me, that is very, very hardcore. And that's a crazy way of thinking, especially for those who know about it and who have been on that seesaw.
That's
what I mean?
bro.
I know I have. I don't know about anybody else. It's a scary seesaw to be on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Definitely scare the shit out of you and make you question everything you believe and think of as real.
That's wild. Bro.
Yeah. So I think that he just decided, like, you know what? I'm fucking Jimi Hendrix. I'm fucking the man. I've experienced this life. I think I'm gonna just stay on this side. So,
dude, when you said alpha jerking, I'm sorry, but like I just pictured a bunch of Chads like in a fucking circle.
Yeah, no, it's weird. It's such a weird word. Alphas, yeah. It's such a weird word and concept. And even like as a kid, when I was reading the book, I was like, alpha jerking. It wasn't until I got older that I knew what they were talking about.
Just a bunch of fucking Chads just there with this
right.
Just you ready?
It's like a dance move or something. You know what I mean?
Do this, bro. Let's go, man. Just fucking beating each other up.
Yeah, dude. So definitely Jimi Hendrix. I think JFK would be another one.
We put down. Well,
who did I put down?
Let me see. I'll show you. Where'd it go? Very similar to Jimi Hendrix. Well, not similar, but you'll sort of.
Let's see. Of course, Bob Marley. Classic. I mean, anybody who smokes weed loves Bob Marley. Everything he stood for was, very, what's the word I'm looking for? Dangerous at the time he was saying. He was basically a threat to governments and society, and people were waking up. I was, kind of towards the tail end of after like the Vietnam movement and the hippie movement, and people were smoking weed and thinking differently now. But just his outlook and his philosophy on life itself was something at the time was unheard of. You know what I mean? So it's very sad that you hear of these souls at the time. I think they were just born too early. They weren't, the world was not ready for their way of thinking yet.
That makes sense.
You know what I mean?
That makes a lot of sense.
So again, I don't know if I mentioned it before, but I'm a big cannabis enthusiast. I used to work in the New Mexico cannabis industry for a few years. I've been a general manager for a grow facility, a manufacturing facility, managed dispensaries before. Grown cannabis firsthand. So, of course, you're naturally gonna just drift to people like Bob Marley. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
who helped start that culture. So
course,
he
man.
would definitely be one. Kid Cudi,
big
artist of mine, probably my number one artist. If you're a millennial, you can relate. You can relate to Kid Cudi.
Cudi the Kid, bro.
Yeah, dude, Kid Cudi's the fucking man. He definitely speaks to me and my soul on a personal basis. I connect a lot with his music. He's also a big cannabis enthusiast. So those are going to be probably my top three. JFK, I'm going to throw out there as well.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah,
man.
dude, JFK, a lot of people don't know, but JFK actually smoked weed.
I was going to add that, dude.
Yeah, he actually smoked weed. Obviously, it was not known knowledge back then, especially it being federally illegal back then, and still is to this day. even though they've descheduled it. But yeah, he smoked cannabis.
That's crazy.
There's actually pictures of him with
Yeah,
like
chief
big
in
old
it.
fucking blunts in his mouth and
He's
shit like that.
Commander in chief in
So
it.
yeah, dude, and he was just a good guy, bro. He was a good guy.
That's funny, man. I this mythos with JFK is so interesting to me. Because we have so many iconic photographs. Because I'm not saying I'm a photographer, but I like photography.
That's badass,
Right.
dude. I've always wanted to get into that,
Yeah,
but
man.
I'm more of a painter myself.
Oh, very
but-
nice, very
but
nice.
Photography is badass.
And
definitely.
specifically black and white photography.
Yes.
I love black and white and back when you had to use film, right? And every picture of JFK like that they've published or whatever that I've seen, it's just you get his aura, right? Like you
Get his
see
energy,
it.
bro.
Exact-
You
and
could feel it, dude.
So this is a fun fact. I don't know if you know this. There's this one picture of him on the campaign trail, and I think he's at a rally, one of his campaign rallies, and he's like looking up, and it's a real famous one. The shot was from down here, and he's looking up and he's pointing and he's smiling, right? And they're like that was like a turning point for his campaign, and everybody's like, what is it about this young senator? Like he has something. What does he have? They coined the term charisma.
I was about to
Because of
say,
charisma.
is he reaching for charisma?
Charisma.
But he
That's what it
was
is.
Mr. Charismatic, dude.
Yeah.
Not only was he a good-looking guy,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously he got fucking Marilyn
Marilyn
Monroe. I mean,
And probably thousands of other
yeah,
chicks. Shit.
dude. But he was legendary, dude. His thinking at the time was just
Also
so
far way ahead.
He was probably our best president, dude. And I know why they fucking killed him, bro.
Mhm.
Honestly, I mean, he was a threat to the government. He was a threat to the whole system, and especially Israel, dude. He was the first president to like be like, you know what? What the fuck are we doing? Helping, like, what do they give us? Why are we giving so much to them? This and that, and that's a whole other
That's
topic.
a whole other topic, yeah.
And we won't get into that here. Yeah, we're just keeping it bro talk here,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, man.
definitely he was a threat, dude. Just like Bob Marley was, just like a lot of these people
these
were.
guys are, man.
So they, just like our country does,
Yeah.
They'll take care of that issue.
We've been known to do, and we continue doing, and we'll probably keep doing until it collapses. But yeah, man. So that fucking JFK and just that whole thing. And I'll look for the picture and I'll show it to you.
Yeah,
And
dude.
you
I look
know
forward
like,
to
you're
it.
like, dude, that's the perfect word to describe this picture, and that's where it started coming from.
Dude, I think JFK was an alien. I'm just gonna say that out there. I think he was sent here to help society, help America, help the world. But yeah, dude, our society and our world, they don't like heroes, they don't like saviors. Look at Jesus. He was pinned on a cross, so unfortunately,
And then
he met his end.
We don't really realize it till way later, but again, maybe that's why. Do you have anything else before we do the closing question?
No.
No?
I think I'm good right now.
Okay, so we always have the closing questions, right? And I've been trying to think of one, but let me see. Okay, that's gonna be an easy one. I'll be warm up one.
All right.
What's your order of Whataburger?
Ooh. All right. So I love Whataburger. I love Blake's more. I'm just gonna throw that out there. I'm
Bro,
a Blake.
you're
I'm
from-
a Blake's guy.
You're
I'm
from Texas, but your heart's in New Mexico.
Dude,
I've
yes,
noticed that,
dude,
yeah.
yes, bro. I'm a New Mexico
Yeah.
guy at heart, but I love Texas. I love Whataburger. It's all right. But honestly, I had Whataburger last night,
Yeah,
and I'm just gonna spit out my order like I always do.
all right.
It's gonna be a number one, plain and dry, with only green chili and bacon.
Oh, okay, that sounds interesting. That sounds
Gotta
pretty
have the spicy ketchup.
Yeah.
And I gotta have my onion rings as well. So I keep the combo, order
Oh.
the fries, get a DP, of course.
Yeah. Okay.
But I also order some onion rings for the drive home. But
okay.
I'll get anything from Whataburger. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. I like the chicken strips. I like
Yeah,
all of it. The
everything's
chicken
good, man.
sandwich. But my go-to is just I don't mess around with mustard and ketchup and onions and lettuce and pickles.
You don't
and-
like all that stuff, or you
no,
just don't,
I like it, but like to me, like having a burger, like it takes away from like the taste of the meat.
the beef.
And I'm a very simple guy. You know what I mean? Even when I make my own food, I don't put on like all kinds of ingredients and this and that. I just keep it simple. I'm a simple man. So
Simple
number
man with simple
one,
tastes.
yeah,
That's
number
good.
one, plain and dry, green chilies and bacon. But I will say Blake's does the green chili better, dude.
I was gonna
I'm
ask
sorry.
you, what's your order from Blake's then?
Blake's, I order the same thing, but just Blake's. So
Blake's?
I get a Blake's Lotaburger, plain and dry with green chili and bacon. Maybe cheese if I'm feeling real
was gonna say,
spicy.
do you
Yeah,
put
like
cheese?
every once in a while
dude.
when I'm like,
You have to.
yeah, I mean,
You
I
gotta
fuck
put
with
cheese on a
cheese. I
sandwich,
fuck
bro.
with cheese, bro. Don't get me
Cheese
wrong.
on a sandwich is a must, dude. It's a must.
You know
That's why
what?
I went to Portillo's yesterday for the first time.
How is that? I've been wondering about that.
I've been trying to go for a long time. I finally made it out there. No offense to Portillo's or anything. The sandwich, the roast beef one, it wasn't anything to write home about. It was good. Don't get me wrong. It didn't live up to the hype, I guess.
I guess
The
you're right.
hot dog, fucking fire. The hot
Really?
dog
That's
was
what
good.
they're known for, I think, is their hot dogs.
Well, I thought it was the roast beef. That's what I thought it was. That's why I
Oh,
ordered.
man.
I ordered
Well,
both. I got one roast beef and a hot
But
dog.
you know
so
what?
I could try
I'm
them.
glad that El Paso's starting to get like these
Yeah, dude.
bigger franchise names,
Yeah,
that are in
man.
like Denver or wherever they are. So I'm happy about that. Wouldn't mind getting a HEB or a fucking
Yeah, good luck with that one, pal. It's not
or
gonna
an
happen.
In-N-Out. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I like those. I still want to try this place off of I-10 that actually took Blake's spot. Blake's
Oh,
used to be on
Taco P?
I-10, the Taco Palenque.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to, fuck around and see what that's all about. But
It's pretty good, man.
But honestly, I mean, you would know best too. Growing up in El Paso, we know good Mexicans.
Yeah,
we
yeah,
know
of
good
course, yeah, yeah.
tacos.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like these out-of-state franchises that come in.
So
Like,
Taco
I don't
Palenque
know.
is from the Rio Grande Valley, bro.
Okay,
It's also
all
on the
right,
border,
okay.
and that's where I first had it, and
All
it's
right.
good, dude. It's fire. I mean, it's
'Cause,
different.
dude,
It's different from
I
ours.
get disappointed real easy. Like being from El Paso, you guys know, we have some good ass Mexican food here. So when people tell me, like when I go visit other places, they're like, yeah, it's a good Mexican restaurant.
Mhm.
I go sit down there and I'm like, this is not Mexican food. Dude, like when Chewy's came into El Paso,
Yeah.
everyone was like, oh my God, Chewy's. And I was like, dude, I went and tried it and I was like, oh my God, this is horrible. I was just like, we literally live in the mecca of Mexican food. And we came here to Chewy's. I was like, this is a big mistake. This place is not going to do good.
It was Tex-Mex.
It's Tex-Mex.
Yeah.
And sure, and honestly, I'm sure Chewy's or Tex-Mex would do great in San Antonio,
Yeah.
great in Dallas, great in fucking Austin and wherever else. But I don't even consider El Paso like Texas, bro. To
No,
me, it's like Mexico. Like I
Mexico.
feel like,
It's all three. It's Texas,
Yes.
Mexico, and New Mexico.
dude, when people first come here and I meet them and I'm like, oh, so what do you think? They're like, yeah, it's different. I'm like, I'll tell you this, there's not another place like it on earth. I mean, you have like a trifecta of like different cultures and all kinds of stuff here, dude. So, and the history behind El Paso is just very, very interesting. But all this used to be Mexico. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
And,
I love
and,
it.
and again, the lands are ancient, and there's a
Exactly.
bunch of stuff.
Yeah, dude.
With that, Chris, we're gonna hit the 2-hour mark here.
Awesome.
So let's, yeah, man. Do you have anything you want to promote?
Well, one, I just want to say thank you, Milo, for having me on here. Thank you, the Bro Monroe Show. I love what you guys do. I'm all about it. I'm all about supporting local and stuff like that. So thank you. Thank you guys for listening to my crazy, wacky stories. I hope I can come back on sometime soon. Talk a little bit more about some other things. But no, dude, I just thank you.
Yes, yeah,
I
thank
had
you so
a
much,
really
man.
good time today.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you, man. As your this is now your home. You're always welcome whenever you want.
Thank you.
Let me know. And yeah, man, thank you so much for sharing everything.
Yes,
with us.
sir.
And yeah, well, we'll see you guys next time. Thank you all
All
for
right,
tuning
guys.
in, man.
Thank you.
Don't forget, we will be having an event June 17th, I believe. Ray might have to edit this. All right, peace.